Hey guys, good afternoon. Sorry I am late. My kids were asking for goldfish, so I wanted to make sure they were settled before I got on. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes before we get started. Hey baby. Hi Drew. How do you do this? What is this? I've never had anybody request to be live with me, so I think I just added it. I don't know, you're gonna have to let me know if it went through or not, because I really don't know. This is still new to me, Drew. You guys are great with technology. I'm still trying to figure out how to post. But I don't want to have you guys waiting too long. What time is it? It's 11:36. I'm definitely late, and I have to leave by like 12:05-ish because I got to be at work at 1. So, happy Thursday. Today is the 1st, and I'm trying to join. Honey, I don't know. I hit the button, and I don't know. I thought it would just connect, but I don't know. We're going to have to play around with this. But let me get started because I still have to go to work. So we left off the last time I talked to you guys. There was a laundry list of things to talk about, but it was mainly the prayer journals and the website launch. So the website is live. The prayer journals are done. The pre-orders have begun. So thank you to those who have already purchased. And if you're waiting on your next payday, I'm here. I do have an afterpay option for you guys. So you will be able to still have your installments made and receive your prayer journal. I do want to just give you a little update with the prayer journals. For those of you that did order, it's still pre-order, so it's not going to be shipped out right away. There's still some work on the back end that needs to take place. As far as the journals getting done, that's not an issue. It's just a matter of making sure that everything that I want packaged and the special gift that I'm giving to you guys with your package is arriving on time. I'm waiting on that little bit, but that's just to be completely transparent. Before I start with the red flags, I do want to let you guys know that, I kid you not, God is amazing. I was washing dishes, and God said to me the prayer journal needs to be in Spanish. So my next assignment with the prayer journals is to have it in Spanish. So I'm working on that currently for you guys. So hopefully by January 1st, or if not mid-January, I will have a Spanish option available for you if that's what you want. Okay, so starting with red flag number 2. So we discussed with the first red flag that they're going to be hiding something harmful, and now we're going to be talking about they are keeping bad company. And I'm sure, but I don't know Spanish. Neither do I. But God calls the unqualified and qualifies them. So as I go through this journey, I'm going to be learning. So it'll be nice if you guys hit the QR code and then you hear me speak in Spanish, because you guys know that my Spanish is Spanglish. So, and if you don't know, now you know. But anyway, so red flag number 2, keeping bad company. We've heard so many times that the company you keep is who you become. So, I mean, I can go on forever about this, but I will just keep this. I have my notes on here. I want to make sure that I stick to it. But the people we surround ourselves with will impact our behaviors, our actions, our words, and our character. Have you ever noticed someone where they're with you, they're one way, but if you notice they hang around other people that are not like you guys, they have all this different slang, their mannerisms change, the way that they communicate, everything, or sometimes they'll speak and you're like, you don't say that, like that sounds like someone else. Well, that's just something that I experienced. So I know keeping bad company can apply to a lot of different things, but specifically when we're talking about drug abuse, the kind of people that they're hanging around with, it's not just someone who makes a bad decision here and there. It's really legit bad company. So, I mean, from what I experienced with a former partner of mine, I remember there was a time where I had met a couple of people and I was just looking at him like, I know I can be judgmental, but something's off about these people. And that's another thing I've talked to you guys in plenty of posts where you need to trust your intuition. And when I met these friends of his, I was just kind of like, he looks like he does some kind of drugs. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on which drug, but he's using something. And I'm pretty sure you guys have seen, and I'm not trying to, knock on the people that, panhandle when you're sitting at a stoplight, but there's times where you can look and just be like, I know they're using something. And that was kind of the vibe that I got when he introduced me to some of, you can feel the weird vibes. Yes, vibes. Yeah. So I remember just kind of feeling like something's off about this character. And I brought it to his attention, and it was, no, you're being judgmental. Give him an opportunity to just, let him show you who he is. And, I was hesitant about it because I didn't want to, really open up a can of worms. And I didn't want to deal with this person, but because I love this individual, I was willing to just accept that some of the friends that he has, I'm not going to like. So, hey, Leonie, I was, I went against my better judgment with that. So then he had another friend where I was just like, this person lives where? And they're driving what kind of car? And they work where? Like, there was just too many different things that didn't add up. And I'm like, why he got all these gold chains? Why this? Why that? And it's not to say if you wear a gold chain that you're a bad person, but there's just behaviors that just didn't seem right. So I have brought it to this person's attention. Like, I have a feeling this person's using drugs. I have a feeling this person's selling drugs. And if this is the kind of people that you hang around with, what is it that you're doing? And, I was just really good. I was manipulated. You sound like, you did what with who? Listen, I love those videos. Anyway, she's talking about the you did what with who videos where they're, oh, girl, whatever it is that they say. But anyway, sorry. That was not expecting that. If he walks like a duck, sounds like a duck, 9 times out of 10, they are a duck. Listen, I'm telling you right now, I thought that it was me being very judgmental. I thought it was me just, I have this chip on my shoulder. I think I'm better than other people. And that's how, this ex of mine made me feel when I would talk to him about certain friends of his. And, I just tried to get over the things that I thought, okay, if he says I'm being this way, maybe I really am. But no, in reality, his friend was a drug user and his other friend was a drug seller, and he was using and selling too. Anyway, so I just wanted to let you guys know that what I have learned over time, when they're keeping bad company, drug addicts typically, their weak minds, it falls into temptation. So they can be completely into not that they're into, but they have this friendship and they don't think that it's going to eventually affect them. And yeah, eventually it will. So think about how many times your friends, perfect example, I have been left and right. Hey, you got to try this drink, try this drink, try this drink. And I've been hearing it from different people, try boba, try boba. And I've seen enough pictures and I've seen enough good comments. And it's finally like, okay, well, I'll try it. I fell into temptation. It's the same concept with this. But I know it's completely different scales, but just saying. So one of the things that I found myself constantly dealing with one of my former lovers was he refused to cut off these friends. And I was just like, I didn't understand. Why is it that you don't want to cut these people off? Like, if we're in a committed relationship and we are, together, and this is, how things are going to move, why is it so difficult for you to cut off these people who make me uncomfortable, who have a lot of suspicious activity surrounding them? What's the problem? And it was excuses after excuses after excuses. Hey, Natasha. And he was just very unwilling to give the friendships up. And we will go over gaslighting. I promise you. It's one of the next red flags. So every month I'm going to go over a different red flag. But I promise you, stay tuned. That's going to be a great one because I have a lot to say about all of these red flags. But specifically today, we're talking about keeping bad company. So like I said, refusing to cut off friendships. Yes, baby. Okay, eat the goldfish. And, you know, they're just unwilling. So one of the stories I wanted to talk to you guys about was your comments. You guys are killing me today. I'm trying so hard not to laugh. What, baby? I'm glad you like goldfish. Okay. He just has to make sure I know. Okay, your water's there too. Ooh, it's almost their nap time. Okay. So, the story of the poker night. So there was so many days where this person was just so into having guys' nights, poker nights. And it was always when I had to, hey, Rosa, it was always when I had to be at work for a long period of time. Yes, open the fridge. Yes. Y'all, this child, he's such a grown little man, my three-nager, like, he really is. So back to the poker nights. It was almost like an every weekend sort of thing. And at the time, and we're talking years ago, I used to work crazy 15, 16-hour shifts. And it was mainly for a volleyball tournament. What do you mean you're hungry? You've been eating all morning. Somebody couldn't get this kid because... Okay, go get the lollipop. It's too high? Well, then that means you can't get it. Baby, mommy's talking to people. Can I help them? Okay, tantrum. Walk with me so I can finish the poker night story. So, girl, I'm telling you, these kids, here, I don't know which one you want. Go ahead. There you go. Sorry, my camera skills and walking is not. Girl, boys do not stop eating. And with the way these children are, my goodness, they're only 2 and 3. I don't want to know what 12 and 13 looks like. Like, it's just get in public and act like we don't feel. I'm telling you, I give them every option at home, and we get into, that's a whole other life, because I'm telling you, boy moms, and even if you were a teenage boy at one time, I'm sure you know, y'all putting your moms through it. Anyway, so the poker night story, sorry. So I was working 15-hour, 16-hour shifts, and okay, then put it over there. 15, 16-hour shifts. Hey, Glennie. And I just had this one request where, hey, you know, if I come home, I do not want to have people there. Or you guys should be wrapping it up. They should be leaving, because after being at work at 6 o'clock in the morning, to be listening to screaming whistles all day for volleyball and, you know, icing these girls' shoulders, knees, ankles, everything. It was just a lot. So I wanted to come home to peace. And it was like he wasn't understanding what I was saying. It was constantly, you know, this person, I don't get to see my friends, and, you know, you're always at work. So it was just making me feel bad. So don't touch that. That's my coffee. Thank you. Mommy, what's that? Mommy is on the phone. You know the rule, right? Shh. Yeah, shh. Mommy's coffee. So, yeah, this was just something that continued. So eventually it got to the point where he had a really bad, baby, please, I love you. I'm going to play with you when I'm done, okay? So, yeah, so it got to the point where the very last poker night he had, actually second to last, I came home and I heard the cards and the chips hitting the table from outside the door, and I was livid. I walked in, I was so crazy, like, I want everybody to leave right now. And when I took a look at the people that were around the table, like, it was just this weird feeling. And it was those two people I mentioned to you, one that looked like a drug user, the other one that looked like, he sells drugs. And I was mad. Like, why are they inside our home? And I'm telling you, this is a relationship that happened years ago. So we're talking like a long time ago. And this was the crap I was putting up with then. So I was upset about that, said what I had to say. Eventually, we had talked about that this wouldn't happen again. He was able to make me, forgive him, all that stuff. So there was another poker night that took place outside. And that day, I remember just being mad and was just like, I don't want to see nobody. Nobody better come inside to try and use the bathroom. Y'all really getting on my nerves, blah, blah, blah. And the amount of crap that they just left out in front for everybody to see, it confirmed my suspicions. And it was just finding, blunt wrappers and little baggies and all these different, items that you would contain drugs in was just left out on the open for everybody to see. And I'm like, what the hell is it that I am dealing with? And what has he got going on? And what kind of friends is he surrounding himself with? And I was so manipulated in thinking that it was just his friends, not really thinking that it was him too. And that's just something that we're going to talk about, all the different things that drug abusers do. And you'll get a glimpse of how gullible I was. But that was definitely something. I talk more about the poker nights in my book. I didn't want to give too many details. I just kind of wanted to give you guys an example. I think I've heard mommy about 74 times this morning, and we're not even at 12. Okay, baby, keep eating. It's like he constantly needs confirmation. So this leads me to talk about 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 33, where it says, do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. So I really should have considered this, where if these are the kind of friends that you're bringing into our home, this is what you are doing outside, and you're leaving a scene for other people to see, and you're telling me they don't do this, they don't do that, but yet there's a poker night where the stuff that I was complaining about is left out for people to see. The focus isn't just on the company that you're keeping. It's going to trigger to you. And sure enough, obviously I wouldn't be here if we weren't talking about him, or not him specifically, but what drug addicts do. So the company he was surrounding himself with was corrupting his character. And, where I was mentally and just thinking that, I could change a person, that's another topic in itself. But who you surround yourself with truly does affect who you are or who you will become. I did have a friend mention to me years ago that we are the sum of the closest 5 people we surround ourselves with. And just think about that for a moment. Who is it that you are always in connection with? And do you notice that you start acting like them? I'm going to be very honest. Lately, I've been in a very childlike state because I'm always with my kids. Like, I feel like I'm whining more than normal. But it's because I'm always surrounded by kids that are whining. But besides my children, I try to make sure that I'm surrounding myself with people who have goals, people who are trying to do better for themselves, people that are family oriented, people who believe in God. And not to say that I don't have any friends that don't believe in God, but just people that are good-hearted and that don't want to, surround themselves with things that are going to bring them down or some way, somehow get them in trouble with the law or with their family or with their friends or even their job. So let me see. I know when I think about this situation and I think about when I was younger and my parents didn't like certain friends, like, well, why didn't they like them? And why is it that I couldn't spend the night at their house? Or why couldn't I do this? Why couldn't I do that? There were so many questions. Why? And I'm at the point now where I understand that intuition that they have that something's not right about this or person or this household. Or, think about it. Like, how many friends that have you had where it's like, my mom, I don't like that girl. There's something wrong with her. And is a full sentence. And I know not to question her after she says, because she's ready to lay down the hammer and give me all the reasons why. And more than half the time, it's not a reason I want to hear. But after some time passes, you see why. So it's the same thing with the kind of company that they keep. So I'm sure a lot of people can think of this like, okay, well, keeping bad company, I know that could apply to many different things, but think specifically about drug addiction. People that will use the kind of behaviors, are they easily misled? And just, you can be the strongest person in the world, but if you continue to hang around people that are constantly tugging at your better character, or tugging at, hey, let's try this, or hey, let's go here, let's go do this, eventually you're going to chime in. You know, you might be curious the first time, or, oh, that's not going to faze me, I won't get into it. Yeah, okay, go ahead and go out and have a drink with your friends. Are you going to come back after having one drink, or are you going to come back after 5? Are you going to go and smoke one blunt, or are you going to go and get an extendo? What is it? So, I mean, just pay attention to it. I know I'm in a season right now where I'm being as obedient as I can. I'm not perfect, but I do know that God has been very heavy on me about, you're going to start cutting this person off. And some of the people that he's asking me to cut off, it hurts. It really does hurt, but it's because he knows ultimately what it is that he wants, or who he wants me to become. And certain characteristics from certain people cannot continue being a part of my life as I'm going in or moving in my obedience. So it's the same, like I said already, it's the same. But keeping bad company. I'm sure some of you guys have had plenty of stories or things that you can recall about keeping bad company, what it did for you, or you know, what it may have done for your kids if your kids are old enough. But keeping bad company, especially with drug addiction, if you're with somebody or you're interested in somebody and you see the kind of people that they call their day ones, or this is my best friend, and you're kind of looking at them like, this person's always in the club. And it's not to say that you can go to the club and that you're a bad person, but when you're always there, you've got that hangout mentality. And just, I'm not a fan of the club. Baby, I love you. He is so, I love my sons, but today is the day, he just has a lot to say. He really does. But that's pretty much it for red flag number 2. If you guys have questions, you can definitely write them down. I do want to just mention a couple of the things that I posted earlier today about the giveaway I talked about already. Yeah, they do want to play, so I'm going to have to play with them before I head to work. But like with the prayer journals, I'm going to be working on the Spanish edition. The pre-orders are still up. I do have some ideas that came to mind. I just need to make sure that it's stuff that God wants me to do, because I'm not trying to do anything outside of what he's saying yes to. But some things that I do want to put on the shop that will be for sale. Excuse me. I'm trying to get my voice back. And what else was it that I mentioned on there? Oh, the basket giveaway. So I'm going to put together a couple of my favorite items. I am really contemplating if I want to set up, I'm going to look back at the polls and see what the popular cover color was, the binding color, and if it was script or bold. And I'm considering having a free prayer journal in a basket along with some of my favorites. Baby, yes. He's literally over there talking about, I love my children. He's so funny. Okay, baby. I swear, how many, if anybody's counting, how many mommies has that been since I hit live? I've probably been on here for no more than 15 minutes, and that's been about 20 different mommies. But so I want to have a giveaway basket for you guys. A prayer journal. I'm considering having my friend make you guys like a calendar for the year. Some of my favorite holiday candies, and anything else that I feel maybe nice to add to the basket. But I do want to have, yeah, I really am. I do want to have a nice basket put together for you guys and have it delivered to you by Christmas. So that's just kind of what's been placed on my heart. I guess none of you guys have any questions or any stories you want to share about keeping bad company. I know we all have bad company, all of us. Like there's literally, I can't think of a person that has never been around somebody who has in one way or another corrupted your character. I mean, I can think of friends that I had that it was just like, hanging out with this person. Now all of a sudden I'm skipping school. Sorry, mom, if you see this. And, you know, I mean, I still graduated on time with honors, so. But that's not an excuse. So you live and you learn. Learning and adjusting is the important part. Yes. So I do want to have a little disclaimer on here. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure if you guys are really close to me, you kind of know who I'm talking about. But I do want to let you know that God did bring it to my attention that there was another relationship that I was in outside of the main one, that this person was a drug abuser. So I'm going to be tying in some things that I learned from that relationship too. This isn't at all made for me to bash anybody. It really isn't. This is something that it was hard for me to accept. Like, God, you really want me to talk about that? This is very personal. And God has just made it clear that he's trying to use me to speak about hard topics and things that people just like to brush under the rug. So don't think that, though, I'm trying to badmouth anybody, because that's not the case. And if you think that, then it is what it is. This is mainly because I don't know who the person is that God needs me to share this with so that they can help. It's literally me being obedient. And a lot of times, God, when you surrender and you're being obedient, you're going to be asked to do a lot of things that sound absolutely crazy. Like right now, where I am with my job situation, anybody that knows my job situation, it's nuts. My schedule is constantly changing. And I'm going crazy. And I've literally been going on job interviews. I have a job that's lined up to start January 1st. And I'm like, God, I need to get out of this job ASAP because the schedule in December is just too chaotic. And the only thing he said is be still. Do you know how hard it is to be still when you know what's ahead? But I only know so far. God sees the overall picture. So as I'm just like, you know what? Okay, be still. Lord, what else do you want me to do? You want me to talk about that? You want me to do this? You want me to do that? Okay. Some of the things do not make sense. And it's literally working out better than the plans that I have. So I'm going to keep pushing through. I'm going to keep talking about these red flags. I'm going to just keep on. Drew, the answer is yes. Absolutely, yes. I'm going to keep talking about these hard topics. And even after I'm done with talking about the red flags, I'm going to have lives where we're going to start talking about different things. And it's only going to be what God is asking me to talk about, because I can talk about anything. And if you know me, I'm a talker. I go to the restaurant, I can talk to the waitresses. I go to the store, I'll talk to the person who is just walking past me in the aisle. But it's just going to keep going. So if any of you guys, if you don't have any questions, you can come in. You're good. It's not an interview. My sister just walked in. But 10:30. So I'm debating if I want to have a live Wednesday night versus Thursday. I know I get off of work about 6 or 8 o'clock. So I'm going to play around with the schedule, but I'll keep you guys posted and I'll let you guys know as soon as I figure out a good time, and I'll give you guys some notice. You want to say hi or say bye to everybody? My hands are dirty. Your hands are dirty? Okay. You want to say bye? Say bye. Bye. Say have a nice day. Say have a nice day. Now we're shy. But you guys, God bless you. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon.